So sometimes depending on the season or the stage that you're at, that's where you can reflect and say, okay, how much longer do you have in this business? Do you have something that you can pass down that could be generational for grandkids or your own children? Or what is that brand legacy, like your brand's equity? Do you have that established? And I will tell you, if you would just implement the Win by Noon planner. So if you haven't gotten a planner, go to winbynoon.com, guys. The secret success formula is in the planner. It literally tells you each day what to do based off the top producers. Like, these are repeatable results. It's not just one person who got lucky in a hot market when interest rates were historically low. But this is how you keep a well-balanced wheel for your business so that you're not oversaturated, maybe in just the refinance market or, reverse or purchase, whatever it may be. This planner, if done consistently over time and you document it, I promise you, you will get results. Now, when you start tracking your activities, you may realize, okay, I'm going to have to double my activity. So how many quality conversations am I committed to having every day? If I double that, now I can start to manage my pipeline where I'll know how many conversations it takes to get the number of leads that I want. I'll know how many leads I need to get the number of contracts that I want and how many contracts are needed to get the fundings that I need. I can't encourage you all enough. Like, it's something, I still have my original planner that I got. I think it was the year it was founded, and it made a world of a difference of just actually knowing what worked. I think that's the other thing. And sometimes I do interviews where it's almost like people don't really know. Like, it's like they can't coach you because they didn't document. And I will say, if you're getting coached by somebody, I would ask for the documentation and proof where there's been repeatable results of what's worked. Otherwise, you could have just gotten lucky. You don't know if it was your open house strategy, or was it this script, or was it this book strategy, or was it doing your own masterminds every single month? Like, how do you actually know what's working and what's not working if you're not tracking it? And there is so much power when you have to physically write in a planner. It's actually psychological. It crystallizes in your brain when you write out your own notes, and when you can look at a sheet and already have a plan of who are my quality conversations that I need to have. And it could be looking at who were your top 5 agents. Let's say, look at in 2021 and 2022. Like, if you had to look at who were the top 5, either in referrals or closed business, are they still in your top 5? Are they even referring you business? Are you having monthly business meetings? Not to say, how many referrals you sent me, but here we are sitting down and we're looking at, all right, what activities did we both do? Where can we be more efficient with either the cross sell? Like, here are the closings we had together so far year to date. Are there any opportunities in this client's other trusted sphere of advisors, whether it is a divorce attorney or a family or will attorney or CPA? Like, are you going deeper with your agents that have already shown trust and that you've had success with? Because I will say that's the other big miss that I see. And I believe wholeheartedly you got to cast a wider net, and obviously going one to many on social, but you still got to go deep and build the relationship, because rock, paper, scissors, relationships trump every single time. And if you can solve their business challenges and have not accountability, because you're not coaching your agents, but maybe we need space where we both talk about how we're sitting in a little bit of gray. What kind of marketing strategy could we come up with where maybe this next quarter we're going to focus on OBGYN, who we know most people, when they're expecting their first child, typically will end up looking at buying a home because they want to get that nest available. And do you know, when you get that little oh shit bag, which is what I call it when you find out you're expecting, with the nipple cream and stuff, it's all these things that you're like, oh my gosh, especially when you're expecting for the first time, you're like, what is this? But imagine if it had a brochure of yours with a pregnant lady and it had a little hook over her belly that says, I heard you could use more space. And then you could educate them on, should you buy before or after the baby comes? Well, here's what most don't think about. When you are qualifying for a mortgage and you're on maternity leave, you have to consider how a lender qualifies that income. Because what if you don't come back? I know you may say you'll come back, but you don't really know until you have that baby. And God forbid, what if there's complications? So should you start that process sooner? And what are the risks? Again, you're not trying to manipulate to get them to buy just for your own benefit. Our goal is to truly show the good, the bad, and the ugly, and things that they may not be able to foresee because they don't do what you do. And then you let them decide, and you always give them the three options. The way I see it, you have three options, and then you paint the options out for them and empower them to feel like they're making the decision, not through manipulative or sales tactics, but because it's based off their needs. So we know the people who are buying and selling are based off life events. So then let's look at those life events: diapers, divorce, death, relocation. Where could you meet with your business partners who have already shown they trust you? And where could you go deeper and help them get more business? And then also consider, when you're casting that wide net, just like we do on here every Monday, guys, you could do yourself. And I have a link if you need help with how to set up a Zoom meeting. You could proactively reach out. This is where Todd has said before, you got to put yourself in paths of opportunity. Who could you reach out and ask them, hey, every Monday at noon, I host a show. I would love for you to be a guest. It's real informal. It's just a Q&A. My audience is real estate agents that I'm trying to bring value to. Obviously, I would like to earn their business in return, but I'd love for you to come on. Mike Simonson with Altos Research, or David Childers with Keeping Current Matters, or Deborah Bird to talk about social media, or Todd Bookspan to talk about Win by Noon and what that can do if you have the real estate edition. I mean, utilize the people you already know. Who do you know that can help you get the opportunities that you need? And are you putting yourself in the path of opportunity, or are you sitting and waiting? Because guys, what if interest rates don't come down? What if the inventory doesn't get better? We can't just continue to wait and wait. It may mean that every single lead, every single conversation, every closing you have, are you getting at least 3 names from that person who may be interested in buying, selling, or refinancing? Like, that is a standard of your team. And this is where we may need to get your team on board. I don't care if you're a processor, underwriter, closer, funder. Guess what? It's a team sport. You guys don't eat unless the loan officer brings the business in. Loan officers, you don't get loans and you don't get commissions if you don't have a team behind you. So why can't the processors? And I'm happy to speak. If you guys have a marketing director and you want a call where I will speak to your entire company at your next company update meeting, or if you guys do company calls, we can do it via Zoom. And let's really talk about how this market shift is going to make your team have to realign and regroup. But the best time to ask for a referral or a review is when that other person is saying thank you, or is in gratitude, or there's some kind of dopamine. So if you have a conditional loan approval, why can't your processor be trained and scripted as, and I'll just use Jeremy Baxter as my example, like, and I don't even care if it's true or not, but all your processors could say, we only have 2 conditions. Let me tell you, Jeremy is a phenomenal loan officer. The fact that you only have 2 conditions, I mean, most of the conditions list are at least 6, 7, 8 lists long. And I work with all the loan officers, and I just want you to know you're in good hands. And, Jeremy's, every week we meet, we do a pipeline review. We know exactly where your file is. We're on top of it. And his business only grows through referral. So if you know of anyone of your friends that may be asking you during this time, like, how's the move? Do you need help? How's the house? I would love to surprise Jeremy on closing day, whether you just want to email me, or you can send a card in or bring it to closing with a name and numbers, or a way for us to gift Jeremy as a thank you, to have 3 names, people who could be interested, where we could use your name as kind of that triangle of trust. And your processors and underwriters can be on board. Like, everyone in the assembly line, like, it's getting lean out there, guys. So this is like all hands on deck. We're all salespeople. We're all marketers, all of us. Your processor could ask that client, hey, when you guys are moving in, we'd love to see a video of you guys walking through the door for the first time. Would you mind posting it? Tag us. This is your loan officer's team name, so we can all see it, who are behind the scenes and don't ever get to meet you personally or go see the house. Like, it's time to now use your database and create Graham-worthy experiences that they are so ecstatic about, that your own clients then become your marketing department. But guys, this day and age, it's all about proving it. Whatever you say your value is, nobody believes you. It's lip service until you prove it. So what evidence, what documentation, what client testimonials, which I call like your witnesses or your experts, like if this were trial and you have to prove something, what are your values that you tell your agents or your clients? Is it your speed? Is it service? Is it experience? Is it lowest rates, fees, products, whatever it is? I'm going to tell you, prove it. I want to be able to look at your social media and be able to see it with my own eyes, that what you tell me you're going to do for me before, during, and after the loan, that I can actually see it with my own eyes. Because unfortunately, where marketing has overdone it, I would say, is there's a lot of lips moving and not a lot to back it up. A lot of talking heads, and they're not using those Mortgage Coach TCAs or MBS Highway or the charts with like the history of interest rates or how inventory levels were drastically different from 2008 to now, and why we're not going to have a housing crash. Guys, you have to use data to prove your word, because nobody believes the word anymore. We just don't, because marketers over time have said, take this pill, lose 100 pounds in 2 minutes, and people would hook, line, and sinker. They would buy, and guess what? They were disappointed. So I want you to do your own audit. And I'm asking you, what are those top 3 values that you, or claims or promises that you make to people of why you, and whatever they are, I don't care what they are, do you prove it? And I mean, you need to look at all your marketing. What does your website say? What the emails that are going out, the text, the flyers that you have, your social, your bios, are you proving your word? Because nobody's believing it if you're just saying, you're just doing what everybody else is doing. Like, why not go left when everyone's going right? So I hope this was helpful. And guys, as always, thank you for joining, and go win your day. Y'all take care.